Welcome to the Bristol Town Council meeting of August 19th. If you could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Before we go through the regular agenda, if I could ask the council for a motion to add an agenda item to recognize two Bristolians that passed away that were connected with the town.
So move. Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Aaron. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So I will start with the passing of Ennis Bisbano. Ennis was a former superintendent of the Bristol school systems, not the Bristol Warren school system, Bristol school system, going back a bit. And like we always do, we're so sorry for the family and friends. Our hearts go out to them. Anybody that gave time back to the community, whether they were an employee or a volunteer, this town very much appreciates, and not just this council, but the town itself. So many people were touched by him, so many touched by our school system. Also, the passing of Gail Halligan. She was a 4th of July committee member for a very long time, along with her husband, Dudley. Again, this council's thoughts and prayers go to the family, go to Dudley himself. And I knew her personally. I think we all may have been touched by her too. And wonderful person. She'll be sadly missed. Anything that the council wants to add?
Just very briefly, Mr. Chairman. Actually, Mr. Bisbano, I had the opportunity and pleasure to work for him as faculty at the high school for quite a few years. Also appointed me as a soccer coach as well.
Nice.
Back to 1905.
I'm going to question the fact on that.
Did you say 1905?
Yes, he did. Okay. Thank you, council. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, the first item on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the town council meeting minutes. These are motion only from July 29th, as well as the executive session meeting minutes, also from July 29th.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is C1. This is ordinance number 2026-9, amendment to Chapter 16, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 4, Section 16-114, stop intersections designated. And this is for a four-way stop intersection at Coggeshall Avenue in Platt. This is first reading.
Make a motion to constitute a first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Before we go to the next agenda, I should have said that Councilman Sweetie is not here tonight. He's at a family event out of state. I believe it's a graduation of his niece out in Austin, Texas. So thank you. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
The next item on the agenda is C2. This is ordinance number 2026-10. This is proposed amendments to Chapter 28 zoning, Article 9, Division 2, Development in Areas of Special Flood Hazard. This is for Section 28303 definitions, and this is the modification from the 10 to 5-year look-back period. This is first reading and call for public hearing on September 16th.
Make a motion to constitute first reading, call for public hearing, September 16th.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is C3. This is ordinance number 2026-11, proposed amendments to Chapter 28 zoning, Article 1, Section 28-1 definitions, Article 3, Section 28-82 use regulations, Article 5, Section 28-162 short-term rentals. This is first reading and call for public hearing.
Make a motion to constitute first reading, call for public hearing on September the 16th.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Aaron. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if that motion may also include that it has to be referred to the planning board for recommendation, that would be fantastic.
That's exactly what I
That's-
heard. I heard
thank you.
it seconded and voted unanimously. It was absolutely magical.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course.
The next item on the agenda is C4. This is ordinance number 2026-12. This is proposed amendments to Chapter 12 Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 1, Section 12-1 Outdoor Fires Prohibited, exceptions, Section 12-2 for recreational and cooking fires, Section 12-3 permitted burning for land clearing and yard waste, Section 12-4, and this is for training fires, Section 12-5, restrictions, hazardous conditions, Section 12-6, use restrictions, and Section 12-7, enforcement, Section 12-8, penalties for outdoor and recreational fire protection, first reading.
Before we get a motion for first reading, Chief reached out to, well, came over to me before the start of the meeting and asked if you'd clarify a couple of things. Chief?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike DeMello, Fire Chief. So first off, this ordinance, I believe, reflects what's already in state fire code, which is already law, but it also provides a balance of what can and can't be done. So it allows residents to enjoy their fire pits if they so choose, under certain conditions. However, there are two sections in here, as I reviewed this afternoon, that were added. Section 12-3 for land clearing and yard waste. We currently don't allow that now by any permitting method, and I would recommend that section be stricken from this proposed ordinance. Typically burning leaves and branches and things like that in your backyard, regardless of whether you have enough space or not, just emits a ton of smoke.
Yeah.
And is typically more problematic than actually the fire pit. So that's the reasoning I would recommend striking that. And then the following section 12-4. Not necessarily opposed to it. I just don't think it needs to be there. I think the fire department typically trains and follows a bunch of different guidelines that we have to adhere to when we do any type of live burn training. So I don't think that necessarily needs to be in there either. The rest of the material, I think, reflects what's currently in state law and I think would be good practice.
So before we get a motion on that fact, and Andy, solicitor, is there any reason that what additional steps other than what we've already taken would be required for second reading since it's omissions?
I think you can just go forward with it now and then bring that forward at the second reading and hearing, since you're removing sections, not adding sections.
So take this next step again at this same step at the next.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Council.
So I make a motion to constitute first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary, that this constitutes first reading. And just for the record, that if we could get those possibly either stricken or redlined or something, that it clearly brings it to our attention at the next meeting. Any other discussion?
I just wanted to say that I'm glad that was clarified because I had some questions about one part of that section. So that answers that. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Chief.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D1. This is Jennifer Cleland from the Audubon Society of Rhode Island, 1401 Hope Street. This is a request for dancing and entertainment license.
Based on the recommendations, I make a motion that we approve it with a 6-month review and also fire inspection.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is D2. This is Courtney Gurton for Molly Palooza, a benefit for Almost Home Rescue, 230 Wood Street. This is a request for one-day dancing and entertainment license to be held at the Cup Defenders on Sunday, October 11th from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Welcome, Courtney.
Hi, thank you for having me, Chairman.
How many years is this, please?
This is year number 15.
Good for you. Good for you. This is your 30 to 45 second commercial. Go ahead.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is our annual fundraiser. It's Almost Home Rescue's largest fundraiser that supports abandoned, abused, and neglected dogs. It's a clam boil. The event takes place at the Cup Defenders. With all luck, we will have it outside. Last year was a nor'easter, so we had to pivot plans, literally a nor'easter. But all of the years have been good weather. So with that said, if we do get great weather, then it takes place under a tent. And we have a band from 2 to 4:30 outside. And typically we do all the music, we used to do all the music outside, but this year, and actually last year it started, we moved the last band inside. And so that the last band would be 5:30 to 7:30. The event used to end at 9. Now every year I shorten it because I'm tired and old. So, this year is 8 p.m. with the last band scheduled to end at 7:30 p.m. And again, that would be inside.
If one wanted to buy tickets,
Yes, we have a Facebook event page. We have almosthomerescueri.org. The event is also on that. You can also see me. I'm going to put up a poster. There's a little Venmo code. There's plenty of ways. I'm always selling.
And how much are they?
how much are the tickets?
The tickets are $40, and that includes the Little Neck Boil, the music, and then there's other catering from CP's Catering, Common Pub and Grill as well.
Very nice.
And then it's 21 cash bar at the cup.
Excellent.
Does does the boy include watermelon and corn?
Yes, it does.
It does, oh,
It does, it does. I could get the cup vendors to possibly whip up some stuffies. So, and just out of curiosity, a fun little fact, it started off 14 years ago, 15 years ago, as just a backyard barbecue. We raised, for $5 a cup, we raised $200 that first year. And I calculated from year 1 to year 14, last year we raised 30 grand alone, but altogether we've raised $123,080 for
Outstanding.
abandoned.
Wow.
Good job.
Congratulations.
I'm hoping to beat the 30,000 mark this year.
Outstanding.
So if this is my little pitch. Do I have 5 seconds left?
Go ahead.
If anyone's interested in sponsoring, we're always looking for businesses and I give a lot of good promotion.
Council.
That's my sales pitch. Thank you.
Based on the recommendations in 15 years, I make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve. Any discussion?
Just briefly, just the following the town ordinances. You're familiar with those, the
Yeah.
noise and the fire
Yes.
inspection.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. New England
Okay.
Tent donates the tent. So they do, they have all their fire permits and extinguishers. They follow that. And the cup defenders is very diligent about if we do have to move it inside, like last year, they have a counter to make sure that, we stay under capacity. Noise ordinances, we will follow all of that. We've never had an issue in the past. So I plan to make sure that we follow.
We
Outstanding.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm gonna hang my poster on.
Go ahead.
You do. You do.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D3. This is Donna Falcoa from Benjamin Church Tenants Association, 1014 Hope Street. This is a request for a bingo license on Fridays bi-monthly from September 2026 through August 2027.
Based on the positive recommendations, I make a motion that we approve it, including, state police approval.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary as stated. Any discussion?
Yes, I like the comment that they made that the prizes are returned to the players. I think that's awesome. So it's not like somebody's cashing out on it.
Good point. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is D4. This is Anna Barboza Mata, Chair of the Bristol 4th of July Committee. This is a request for a bingo license for a fundraiser on Wednesday, September 16th from 5 to 9:30 at the VFW at 850 Hope Street. Just want to note that there's two recommendations that I received at meeting from the police and the fire.
Based on the positive recommendations, I make a motion to approve, again, with the same stipulation with state police approval.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is E1. This is a 3-month review from the show cause hearing consideration of the revocation or the suspension of the dancing and entertainment license and the Class B vitrilling intoxicating beverage license issued to AZJ John Street LLC, Jeffrey Quinlan, Zach King, Andrew Tuchler, doing business as Aiden's Pub, 5 John Street. This was continued from April 29th.
So I'm going to open it with, if I may, welcome, gentlemen. Chief, if you could start off and just share with this council and the public, because they're Any concerns that we need to address? And then also, Mr. Solicitor, if you could weigh in on any other salient points. Chief.
There was 7 calls of service over at Aden, so we do have neighbors that are still concerned about the noise volume. However, it did not reach the point where it was a violation of town ordinance. And police department went over there and inspected those, met with folks from the establishment. Many times the establishment willingly turned down that music to acceptable levels to work with the community. I think I'll save, there was an issue relative towards the show cause hearing, the consent order, which was adopted in April of 2026 that allowed outdoor entertainment on both the Friday and the Saturday. And when they came in June of 26 through the clerk's office and updated their license, they no longer have that Friday and Saturday. It's only for Fridays only from 7 to 9 p.m. I just wanted to make that clear to the license holder that what's in the consent order signed in April of 2026 has been modified, if the solicitor agrees with my opinion on that. And their new license only allows for outdoor entertainment, which I believe that they requested from Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m.
Thank you, Chief. Andy?
Yes, thank you. Confirming, taking that last issue first with the chief, yeah. Although the consent order in April talked about the outdoor entertainment for longer, when they came in for their renewal, they asked for 7, the only thing they asked for outdoors was 7 to 9 p.m. And also it requires an indication, a picture or a plan where it's going to be. There was never anything about outdoor entertainment on the second floor deck. So it needs to be limited just to the ground floor area. Other than that, there were a few unfounded noise complaints. There were 2 complaints back in May, food delivery at 5 o'clock in the morning. But after the second one that appears to have stopped, there haven't been any more of those. The other thing, I will say the reports, the logs that we're supposed to get with the security, the reporting has been a little bit lackadaisical on that, not getting them promptly. So all in all, I don't think there should be any increase in I think things should just stay the same as we go into the fall season with the students coming back for Roger Williams. And I think this will be coming back to us in November anyway with the renewal of the liquor license for the year forward, and revisit these issues at that time. If they want to apply for additional entertainment, to modify, to change it for entertainment, that would probably be the time to do that at the same time. But at the moment, I would just advise leaving things the way they are with the note about outdoor entertainment is downstairs only and 7 to 9 on Friday only for the only outdoor entertainment.
Thank you, Andy. Gentlemen.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the council. My name is Joseph Baxter. I'm an attorney here representing the license holder. I think obviously everything we've heard so far is somewhat what we expected to hear based on our conversations with the solicitor and other town officials. My client's hoping just to keep the status quo for now, as has been stated by several individuals here. And continue to comply with the pertinent details in the settlement agreement, obviously, with the clarification regarding the outdoor entertainment. And here with me is Mike Cockroft. He's the general manager of Aiden's. If you have any questions for regarding operations specifically, he's happy to answer those. Otherwise, I believe the only other point I wanted to address was the logs issue. Obviously, we'll work to address that to make sure that we're operating under all the terms that have been agreed to.
So no concerns as it was expressed by the chief and the solicitor, following with no changes, as just said, through renewal would be in November. So we'll the recommendation of this council, I'll ask the solicitor in a moment. Certainly first I'm going to ask my colleagues if they have any questions or concerns. But I'm going to ask the solicitor to help us with that motion to make sure we capture that perfectly. Council, anything you wanted to add?
Do.
Yes, briefly, I know I was very disappointed when we met the last time. I'm glad to see the improvement. Certainly is appreciated on your end and our end, and I'm sure the neighbors appreciate that as well. So thank you for those efforts.
Mary?
I agree with Tony. I just had one quick question and I wondered what the food delivery was at 5 a.m.
I was unaware of that. I will talk to my food purveyors though. They have a key drop so they can get in and drop food off before we open business, which is easier for them. But I will make sure that they don't come in.
Oh, so
till after-
I was gonna
after
think, okay, so you're talking about like a truck that was delivering food. I was thinking of some people working there still. I was wondering about, and they
No.
ordered food from somewhere. Okay. All righty. Okay.
Yeah, just so you know, I mean, it was May 18th and then it was a week later, May 23rd.
make sure that
The police told them not to, and there hasn't been anything
Right.
since then, so I assume that they're not,
I'll follow up
but-
either way.
just so you know.
Andy, would you help us with that motion? I'm sorry. Is there any other questions or concerns from the council? Okay, Andy?
Yep.
A motion, I would say a motion to continue this to, what's the date of the license review meeting?
November 18th is correct.
To November 18th.
So move.
Second.
Do you need any clarification on any of those points?
I don't think
As
so.
part of the motion? Okay. All right, so we have a motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is F1. This is Diane Maderas, the Executive Director of East Bay Community Development Corporation, 150 Franklin Street. This is a request for consideration of a compact vehicle only sign after the 2 no parking spaces on the west side of the elderly care facility.
Hello, Diane. So what's in front of us is a request for consideration for a couple of compact vehicle only sign, more specifically parking in proximity to the exit of the parking lot of Franklin Court. What I'd like to propose to this council is that on a semi-recent meeting, we spoke about, and we are going to complete this, Franklin Street study and how it affects not only the neighborhood, but in Franklin Court is part of the neighborhood, of course. I would suggest that we continue this and make this part of that study. I spoke to the administrator earlier, and this is a portion of his suggestion. I like it. And that will make sure that the Franklin Court has input so they can share what they see as the issue right now. So the study includes that and is considered. Does that make sense to this council?
I certainly do. You
So,
want
so
to
Mr.
make a
Chairman,
motion on
this would really aim to get to the core of it. It won't necessarily lead to the compact car signs, but there might be other solutions through this study that might resolve this situation. Is that
Well
what
said.
I'm hearing? Okay.
Well said.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
that? Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Tony, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is F2. This is Gregory Pastor, 44 Church Street. This is a request for removal of accessible parking space located in front of the residence. This is second reading.
Based on the recommendation, I make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is F3. This is Richard Rocha, 9 Jessica Drive, request the installation of 2 stop signs at the intersection of Kathy Court and Jessica Drive.
Is the petitioner here? No, so what's in front of this council, as just stated by the clerk, is a request for 2 stop signs at the intersection of Kathy Court and Jessica Drive. We've had some recent requests to this council, not for specifically this, right? We have one, we just read a first reading. But I think what's missing from this one is a petition from the petitioner with multiple signatures. So maybe I'll say that a different way, is that any impacted neighbors in that area, this council should have a petition signed by those. And I believe that reasonably speaking, it should be 75% of the impacted neighbors approximately. We'll say the large majority are in favor of putting these stop signs there. So we have a couple of options. I'm obviously looking for council input on this, but I'm thinking that we can continue this to our next meeting and share through the clerk the requirement of that petition. And if this council prefers, we could push it 2 meetings out. I'm not sure what we'd like to do.
I would think I would make a motion that we move it to the next meeting. And that we just like ask our clerk to let the petitioner know what we're asking for. It shouldn't be that difficult to
No.
get those signatures.
Yeah. All right. So we have a motion from Mary to move this, to continue this with those instructions.
And I'll second that.
Okay. So we had
Is there I'm sorry, is there a radius? Are you looking for like for 75% of like on the road or between Kathy and Jessica, or like a 200-foot radius of that intersection, 75%? Like, how do I?
That's a great question.
75%.
So I think we could follow in line. And again, I'm looking for my colleagues' input. For the traffic calming, I think we could follow the same
same
premise.
rules?
Yeah. That's a good reference and it's also being consistent. So,
Thank you.
She wanted that.
oh, sure. Absolutely. So discussion, I don't know, was somebody coming up to,
Oh, she might
No.
be for the next one.
okay.
She's next.
The one
Oh,
from
next.
Coggeshall, that was the petition we had last time. That was very instructive as a really good way of somebody doing something like that, going around to the
exactly right.
neighbors, talking to everybody, getting input, making sure that people weren't going to be upset if they had to stop at a stop sign every time now and everything like that.
And there's cost involved to the town to verify the need, and if so, how to implement those things. So, all right. So we had a motion made by Mary, seconded by Tony, as stated. Any other discussion?
Just very briefly, I concur. Somebody's, I have a little hiccup. Excuse me. I concur because the last thing we want is one resident requests a sign goes up and then the next thing is all the neighbors go up. Why? I
didn't
was
s-
not consulted.
Right.
So obviously it is important that we have more than, be included on this decision.
Agreed. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is F4. This is Melissa Parsons, Executive Director of Bike to Beach for Autism. This is a request for approval of cycling event through Bristol on September 19th.
Hi.
You were here for this one, not the last one. I got it now. Please state your name and address for the
I was here
record.
last year.
Yeah.
I'm Melissa Parsons. I'm with Bike to the Beach, and we have our annual cycling event that benefits local nonprofits serving the autism and disability communities in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And we're going to be coming through with your approval through Bristol.
If I may, could you refresh, you using, what route are you following through? 136, 114? I know you're going through the bridges, that piece I read through.
Yes.
But I wasn't very clear which route you
Let
followed.
me bring it up. Unless is it in the, let me bring it up.
I believe it's in the packet.
I missed that.
Where is it?
Oh, it's at the bottom.
I'll get it here in just 1 minute. Candy?
1897, I think.
No. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts on page 97.
It is
And the map is 102.
102?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very
Just got it
complete
all set.
application.
Just-
Thank you.
yeah,
There's about
just-
25 pages in
And
here.
it goes to
My
show how much we
colleague
got
is
in this
very
packet,
thorough,
right?
yes.
All set, thank you.
Okay, council?
Based on the recommendations, is there a recommendation? Is no? But I guess there has not been an issue. Yes, chief.
Yeah, unfortunately, this petition didn't process through the police department. Do you know if there's going to be any traffic officers that are going to be needed or detail officers?
Yes, and I was actually just texting my colleague now. I wasn't sure if he had already submitted that to the police department, but if he hasn't, it should be coming over because we would love to enlist your help as we did in prior years.
Okay.
If you have the availability.
Yes.
May I make a suggestion? Why don't we do if this council agrees that we can approve it and then exactly, and working with the police chief and the police department
Yes.
for an appropriate, if officers are necessary, then we defer to the police chief to put those systems in place, working with the applicant. Is that okay with everybody?
That's exactly what I said.
That's what I heard.
Just couldn't get it out.
Okay. So that was a motion made by Tony. Was there a second? I'm sorry.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Aaron, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very
Yes.
much, and we'll be in touch. Take care.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G1. This is the Newport and Bristol County Convention and Visitors Bureau, also known as Discover Newport. This is for a 3-year term set to expire in July 2029. We have Stephen Bridgety with interest in reappointment and Elaine White with interest in appointment.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to reappoint Steve Bridgety.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary. Discussion? I'll add, I spoke to both applicants prior to this meeting. That I shared with both that it's typically the council's practice to reappoint unless there's some reason not to, which is what you've heard as a motion and a second. And I'd also like to share that Elaine shared that she'd like to, and her intentions is to go to these meetings to become more aware of what's happening there on a moment-to-moment basis and lend her support as she's part of Explore Bristol. She was obviously the chairman of the 250 committee to represent the merchants of downtown plus the town of Bristol, along with Stephen Bridgety. So wanted to have that for the record. Yeah. Any other discussion?
No, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Mr. Chairman, because obviously Elaine would certainly be a great candidate to represent Bristol. And she's done a terrific job, in many other committees along the way. So we appreciate her efforts and her volunteerism.
Tony, I'll add that sometimes I wish I had half the energy and passion that Elaine White had for this kind of stuff. That's awesome. Yeah.
I think it shows like once again that we're very lucky in this town that we have very good and highly qualified candidates that want to go on our boards and commissions and represent the town in other things around the state. So we're very blessed with that.
Well said to all of you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G2. This is the Historic District Commission. This is for 1 3-year unexpired second auxiliary member set to expire in July 2027. And we have Blair Moore with interest in appointment.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we set a motion. Do I need to make a motion?
Yeah.
Yes, it would be a motion
Yeah.
to set an interview with Mr. Moore.
Can we shoot for the September 16th meeting? That's our next one. And if the council is amenable to it, possibly start at 6:30 for that one interview. Does that work for everyone? I don't know if it works for the applicant, but we can attempt to
So
go
we can
there.
put September 16th at 6:30 or at the convenience of all parties.
Yes,
Would be
that
okay?
works.
Mhm.
Perfect. So Tony, that was your motion. Was
Yes,
there
it
a
was.
second?
Second.
There was a motion of Tony, seconded by Aaron. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is H1. This is the municipal liquor licensing practice. This was the review of the draft policy/guidelines and phased approach. And this was continued from July 29, 2026. And there's a resolution of a policy on liquor license applications attached.
And just to be consistent, I propose that we continue it again for no other reason that all 5 council people are not here. And this is an important topic. All topics are important, but this one in particular. So if we could continue this to the next meeting, so all of us are here.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is I1. This is Councilman Lay. This is discussion and consideration of the potential impacts of data centers on the town and related zoning regulations regarding their construction and siting in Bristol.
Councilman?
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your time. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up, I added some supporting material in there from Smithfield, Rhode Island, who's dealing with this situation right now. And I asked to have this on the agenda because there's so much going on right now. And I did have a chance to talk to Diane a little bit about this and learned that our zoning tables say nothing about data centers yet. So I wanted to get the conversation going with my colleagues so that we don't get caught flat-footed on this one. One of the reasons, well, there's several reasons why I'm concerned about this. I could lay out really a long list of concerns, but there's two that I think that are especially important here. The first is scale and permanence of data centers. These are large buildings with substantial mechanical equipment. Once they're sited, it's there. It's not going away. So we have one chance to deal with this. The second is nuisance and the day-to-day impact on neighbors who might be exposed to these. The cooling equipment for data centers runs constantly. Backup generators are tested frequently and on a regular schedule. And then trucks and equipment that service these things are always coming and going, causing diesel emissions and things like that. So for me, one of the things I would do, I personally would be interested in addressing this through our zoning tables, the same way that we just recently did with the short-term rentals. But I'd like to hear from my colleagues to see what their thoughts are and whether there's any interest in moving forward on something like that.
I don't think it hurts to have it in either our comp plan or in our zoning tables. I don't really think that Bristol has any land large enough to be able to accommodate such a data center. So I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to have to address, at least in the scale that they have right now. Nor do we have really the infrastructure, the highway access and things like that. So unlike maybe Smithfield, which does have large tracts of land still, I don't think we're in immediate danger of having somebody coming knocking to do such a thing, but it wouldn't hurt to have it in. And is it something that's come up at the comp plan discussions or anything like that?
Yeah. No.
Diane, if you were to envision adding this to our zoning table, what would it look like in very high level?
So
Super high level.
I would envision it being and just so you know, in conversations with Ed Tanner, who's also the zoning officer, if a use is not specifically listed in the table, then it is not allowed unless the petitioner could prove that it's similar to another use that is listed. So in his opinion, there would be no other use similar and we could say no. But to Aaron's point, if you want to have something specifically prohibiting them, I would say it would be a use listed in the use table with a no, with an N for no in all in all the zoning districts.
Mhm.
That's how I would see it.
I guess I'm not advocating in any way for data centers, but following questions is that it would seem to me data centers, what I'm picturing, are massive, right? But maybe they're not massive. Or what if you define a data center as servers inside, can it be 5,000 square feet? My research says yes. Again, I'm not advocating for a data center, but I'm wondering at what point are we excluding something like that we would be fine with if it was small? So I guess what I'm saying is, should we define, and it seemed to be the answer yes, is how big is big? How much is too much kind of thing? And how much is not too much? I'll say it one more time. I'm not advocating for data centers, but just saying that if I'm not for large. I'm assuming that all of you, and certainly Aaron, did some research on it, and I consider myself techie a little bit and been following this for a while, and everybody's seen prices for electronics go up because of the RAM shortage based off data centers. So there's a lot of things that affect. But as it pertains to zoning, I'm wondering if it was a small building, do we care? Is it a big deal? I don't think, as Mary pointed out earlier, that our infrastructure is not there, both for electrical, for a large data center. We also don't have a multi-terabit connection for what would be required for it. But I also agree was what was said, that I don't have a problem with it being put into the zoning. I just need a better definition because I can't imagine us saying no to something like 5,000 square feet, right? But definitely saying no to a large one.
Right. And maybe similar to what we do with other uses, it's sort of a scaled, it's a no if you're big and maybe a special use permit if you're small.
See?
Yeah.
And
That's a nice way of doing it.
I would also like to research a little bit about, as you say, where these typically are proposed, because I know we've been really, we advocate strongly to keep the manufacturing zoned property for jobs. And I'm not sure that these really come with jobs. I
They
think it's-
don't.
So maybe as an accessory use to an existing building or in a building that can build an addition to support this. I just want to look into that a little bit more too, but maybe we could refer it to the planning board and then they could study it like they did with the short-term rental.
It's an
and we could
outstanding
Come
idea.
back with a recommendation for you.
One of the things I think about the jobs question is I think it's true that there's not a lot of jobs, like day to day, but there would be a lot of jobs on the construction end of it. And I know a lot of times in Rhode Island, the construction workers become, very vocal in terms of, which is fine, because there's going to be a lot of jobs to build stuff like that.
Right.
So, I always think it's tricky. Like, do we mean ongoing permanent jobs of like high paying, or do we mean construction jobs that might be, depending on what you're building, could take a considerable amount of time, that would keep people working.
Mhm.
But I agree with Nathan in the sense that, because it can always be changed, or we can just do it as like a special use or discussion. I mean, right now, as we know what they are, we don't have the space for it. We don't really, Bristol's not really a qualifying place, I wouldn't think. But in a couple of years, who knows? They might shrink way down and to be much smaller, much quieter, use a lot less energy and resources, so forth. And then that might be something that we'd want to look at. So either we then change the zone or change the zoning tables we check on periodically, every so often, or we just let it in by special use if it is something that the technology has changed or it's much smaller.
Mhm.
So what I would, Tony?
I just have, I've heard about them, okay, but do we have any locally, I mean, in the state of Rhode Island, has any community already taken up one? I know there was some discussion, I think was the South Kingston, North Kingston?
Smithfield.
Or Smithfield,
South
okay.
Kingstown just had it come up on their agenda too. I think they were being more proactive, like
Right.
we would be on it. But I
Uh-huh.
don't think they had somebody applying for one. or
Gotcha,
anything. Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
But currently, there's none in Rhode Island that
I'm
we
not
are aware
I'm
of.
not aware of any, no.
Okay,
I don't think there are, but I mean, some of the places, I mean, it's become very controversial everywhere, even places that have it. And it is, how disruptive it can be to even, I was just listening, it happened to be on today on a news program, just Loudoun County in Virginia. I think they're bringing in something like 1.3 billion to the county. But like one part is more urban, and that's where they're located. I'm using the word urban. I'm not saying it's urban. And then the other part is more farmland, like across like the other side of the county. But yet all these electrical poles and stuff have to go through the farmland.
Ah.
And so they're not very happy with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think there's a lot to consider and a lot more than we probably all know because we live in basically a city state.
Right.
Yeah.
And my understanding is they use a lot of resources like water to cool the units. So there's a huge demand for some of those resources too.
It's fun is that and this is why research is so important, is that a large data center uses as much as an 18-hole golf course.
Oh my God.
So when you start doing it, but there's no question about an 18-hole golf course. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm not advocating for data centers. It's just a balance. That's
It's just an
to be
interesting
super clear.
topic. It's
Yeah.
an interesting topic that is out there being talked about by a lot of places with, vast tracts of land. And what they're talking about also in the electrical power is that they would have to generate their own power, maybe through small nuclear reactors. So those are all things that, the small ones like submarines use. So those are all things that are out there in the world, I think, being discussed. Nathan obviously researched it far more than I have, but just in hearing about it and thinking about it a little bit.
I would say, and Aaron, this was your agenda item. I would say that Diane's suggestion to refer to the planning board for discussion and recommendation back to the council would be, seems very appropriate.
All right. Well, I got a motion here to that effect. I think that, certainly I think the verdict is still out on data centers. I think that our conversation here captured it very nicely, where it could be a positive thing for us to just pump the brakes a little bit on these and wait and see a little bit, and then tailor our zoning ordinances around to something that we're very comfortable with. And I think we can do that in partnership with our planning boards. So I'll make a motion to refer the question of data center land use to the planning board and to return to this council with a recommended definition of data center and
proposals
a
for-
recommendation for where they can be used.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, so to add it to the zoning table.
zoning table? Yeah.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Tony, as stated. Any other discussion?
Yes, just simply thank you for bringing that,
Yep.
this to our attention.
Absolutely. Thanks for the conversation, guys. Yep.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is me. I too, Clerk Adiro, with upcoming election details. Long day.
Nice. I know. Did I hear that early voting starts tomorrow?
Yes.
Me.
So elections come fast and furious. So if you haven't gotten about 10,000 robocalls, you know that election's right around the corner. So I just wanted to let, just for informational, public information, the state primary is going to be on a Wednesday this year, not on a Tuesday. It'll be on Wednesday, September 9th. There was legislation that passed that because it's after the day of Labor Day, they're going to be moving it to the Wednesday. So the September primary will be on Wednesday, September 9th. Polls open at 7 a.m. They close at 8 p.m. Early voting starts tomorrow, August 20th, and that will run through September 8th, the day before election. Early voting will be held at the Katera School Building this year, which is 35 Washington Street. The hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it will be closed on Labor Day, Monday, September 7th. For the primary, we are condensing to 5 polling locations. We sent out pretty little postcards to every registered voter, so you should have gotten one in the mail. If you didn't get it, you can go on voteri.gov to see where your polling location is going to be, or you can call us here at the Bristol Town Hall. We will gladly help you figure out where your polling location will be on Election Day. The general election will be on November 3rd. And just so everybody knows, the mail-in ballots do need to be returned by Election Day, September 9th, by the close of the election at 8 p.m. Those can be returned either by mail in any drop box in front of any city hall within the state of Rhode Island, or at any polling location on Election Day. They have a drop box there that you can drop them off. And again, if anybody has any questions, they can call Town Hall or go on vote.ri.gov.
Melissa,
Yes.
what door at Katera School? It would be in the back or?
It is the back door. It's the ADA accessible door. We put the signs out today, so
Okay.
it's marked, and there'll be more signs going out tomorrow.
So it will be right where the parking is?
It's right where the parking is. There's 3 ADA accessible spots right in the front. It's ADA accessible through the side, and it goes right through the fence. And there's signs all the way around the building.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just need a motion to receive and file.
A motion to receive and file.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Aaron. Any other discussion?
Yes, thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well said. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is I3. This is public notice, RIDEM, Office of Water Resources, Jeffrey Vincent, 11 Waterview Lane, Warren, requesting permission to alter a freshwater wetland at the intersection of Tilbury and Leah Drive. This requires a response by September 8th, and I just want to note a memo from the Community Development Officer that's noted as received at meeting I3 on your dais.
Diane, instead of us reading this,
Sure.
could you give us the high level on this?
I can. So, as you know, this is sent to you for public comment from the DEM. They send it to individuals and agencies for that invitation to provide comments. I also wanted to note that the town is also in a butter to this site. There's 3 lots that were acquired a few years ago from a tax sale that the developer changed his mind on. So those are open space wetland parcels. This lot, I reviewed this application. I reviewed the application submitted with the DEM paperwork, and I also did some research in our records to kind of give you some points that I think you should submit to the DEM. The first is the property is an undeveloped, non-conforming single lot of record containing approximately 6,835 square feet of lot area. The wetland flagging shown on the plan indicates that almost the entire lot consists of wetlands. The proposed foundation is shown as being in the water table with a foundation drain that discharges to a pad behind the building, proposed building. It does not indicate that this is a sump pump, but based on the foundation elevation and the water table, a sump pump is more than likely going to be necessary. And sump pumps in the water table pump constantly, obviously. I did review the town's GIS drainage map. There is no drainage in Tilbury Drive. There is no drainage in Wapping Drive north of Leahy, which is the area of the neighborhood where this property is. There is drainage in Basswood, but it's further south. It doesn't come that far north. So stormwater runoff in this area is mostly overland. And the wetlands serve to help to store that stormwater flow overland. We have been called out several times over the last few years to investigate and try to address the existing drainage and flooding problem, primarily with homes on Basswood. We've had our engineer consultants out there. They've looked at it with us. There is no easy way to connect the drainage to that neighborhood. And we did do our due diligence. Like I said, we've been out several times to see if there is something that can be done on the town's land or in the road. And it just seems like it's not very feasible. So with the alteration of the wetlands and the additional impervious area and some pump water that this site will discharge, I have concerns about exacerbating the existing flooding problems in the neighborhood. In review of the town's GIS map layer for the Bristol County Water Authority, there are several areas without public water availability, including Tilbury, Belvedere, sections of Opeachy, Sefton, and Basswood Drives. So many homes in this neighborhood rely on private wells. The wetlands help to serve as a recharge for maintaining groundwater capacity, and it is needed in this area because there is no public water. So I would just like to have you note those in a correspondence to the DEM.
So we can do that through the clerk if this council concurs and share these points of concern
Yes.
with DEM
Thank you.
through that on advice of our community development director.
Yes, and just to note, the deadline for the comments is precluding comments from the planning board because they don't meet before the deadline. So that's why I offered my comments to you.
Thank you.
So I would move that we provide the comments to DEM as to how this will affect the neighborhood in the town, and ask the clerk to meet with our planning director and director of community development, I should say, and come up with all the correct information and wording and points that we want to point out.
Okay.
So second,
Motion made by Mary, seconded by Tony, as stated. Discussion?
yes, you know,
Bless you.
I know how we've lived. I'm not going to say we have lived through quite a few of these situations. You know, I could highlight a few of them, you know, Harker was one of them, at the corner of Wood and Hope. There's another area there. And there's been a couple other areas throughout town where, you know, if we don't do due diligence, make folks aware that there is concerns,
The hotel,
then we are in a hook.
the hotel. if that
Yes, the
happens, yeah.
hotel is another one. So there are some concerns. So I'm glad that we forward our concerns to DEM.
I think the one thing that is important to note, just for people that may not be familiar with it, is that DEM has the ultimate say on whether you can fill the wetlands or not Bristol Planning Board, Zoning Board, Town Council. So that's why it's important to like get these words out to them, and maybe they'll pay attention, maybe they won't.
Thank you, Mary. That's a good point.
Any other discussion?
Diane, thanks for all the work on this. I used to live in this area, so I remember the water issues over there. It is, it can get pretty bad. I believe in the springtime is it usually the worst.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is J1. This is bid number 1093, catering services for the 4th of July Ball 2027. We had the.
Just,
I know, you just
Sorry,
had it.
go ahead.
You just had it. I
We haven't
can't
even done
believe
the
it's
election
already
party
here.
on the ball.
what the July ball?
They're gonna be able to play this all year. They're gonna make sure they get all their food saved up.
I know.
Yeah. So we did have the bid opening today at 12. We received one bid. The bid was received from CP Catering. And it was option one, sit down, in the amount of $40,155. And that was for $145 per person. And then option two, which was food stations, in the amount of $42,905 with $155 per plate person.
Make a motion to refer to the town administrator and the 4th of July committee to act on it in the best interest of the town.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is J2. This is bid number 1094. This is the curbside collection of residential yard waste. We did also have the bid opening today at noon. We received two bids. The first bid is from Landscaping Services, Inc., and this is base bid A. Total amount was to be determined. Base bid B was in the amount of $1,160,597 with a vehicle price of $45,000. The next bid was from MTG Disposals LLC. This was a base bid A for option A in the amount of $1,872,900. Base bid B option in the amount of $1,872,900. And then they also provided a 5-year option, base bid A, $2,792,600. And the base bid B also for the 5-year in the amount of $2,792,600. No vehicle.
Interesting. Landscaping service, where are they from? Did they give an address?
From Bristol.
Oh.
State Moss.
Oh, okay. And MTG, where are they from?
That's a disposal company somewhere in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Company.
Oh, okay.
Not from Bristol.
All right. I make a motion to refer to the town administrator to act in the best interest of the town.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is J3. This is bid 1095 fireworks display for Parks and Recreation. We had the bid opening today at 12. We received one bid from Pyrotechnico in the amount of $18,000.
Make a motion to refer to the town administrator to act in the best interest of the town.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary. Any discussion? I'll just add that we haven't had fireworks in quite a few years, and last night concert has been in and out. I love it. But I don't know if it's something that we can do every year, but when we can do it, I think it's wonderful. So any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
So Chairman, and the last item on the agenda is J4. This is Chairman Calero, discussion and possible action regarding the transfer of the public media budget line item to the town administrator's budget for the payment of town council meeting recordings and broadcasting services.
So actually, there is no discussion necessary on this. I'm just going to ask for a motion to table. The discussion happened initially about proposed changes and how these are completed, but after further discussion, it's unnecessary. So I just need a motion to table.
So move.
Is there a
Second.
motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to table? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just need a motion to adjourn.
Our friend from Barrett, who does the report for the Water Authority must be on vacation. We don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The water report.
This part of the show, we're usually at BCWA and
Yes.
we're on automatic on it. So I just need a motion to adjourn, please.
So move.
Motion made by, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Aaron to adjourn. So this is the end of the meeting. Normally we go into executive session. There isn't any tonight. So we say to all of you, good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.